not solutions. Add-on desires.
Welcome to Addod Solutions Current Affairs Program. I am Venkat Sheshareddy. Now let us try to look into the articles that are relevant for the exam. CJI flags communal content in media. Chief Justice of India has shown his concern over the different type of media that is portraying different news that may be even comprising of fake news or making the news communal and insensitive or even trying to instigate communal feelings, so that he has mentioned to the government that it is the necessity to look into the areas where we can be able to regulate such news. Otherwise, it will be chipping into the socio-cultural fabric of the society. So that will be proving very expensive. Now, what are the rules that are there here to monitor this content in the social media? Are information technology, intermediary guidelines and digital media ethics code rules 2021 are the rules under which we are regulating now. But what are these? Let us try to look into different media and their control already exist in our country. Now, print media and digital media, that is in the form of channels, are regulated like a press club, and then other things are like unregulated are the social media platforms like Facebook, WhatsApp, YouTube, and maybe any other medium where people are using this unregulated medium. Only very few things, whenever it is of renowned people, then they are showing concern and they are removing such content. But whenever there is a small person or when it is about maybe some unknown person, then what happens is they are not concerned about and these are not regulated properly. That is the reason why the Chief Justice of India has shown his concern and has directed the government to promulgate an area where it can be regulated, and so that there will be a proper grievance redressal system. What is meant by grievance redressal? If you are feeling aggrieved or if you are feeling dissent or maybe discontent, then what happens? You will be complaining to some person or some authority. Then where is the authority? To whom you are supposed to complain now? There is no authority like where you can complain now apart from the IT cell of the police station, and many of us are not able to reach out to this IT cell so easily or maybe any police station, and so that it has to be a place where it can be complained easily your grievance or your complaint, and this complaint must be resolved within a specified period of time, so that it will be a safe place and secure place for each and everybody, as this digital space became a common phenomenon or even necessary phenomenon for the generation now. Even after pandemic, it has become even very much important for the communication. Even to the kids, we are supposed to provide the digital space so that only they can be able to learn. While they are learning, their safety and security is at most important. Because of unknowingly pressing some buttons or maybe some other games while playing games, these kids are not able to know, or the people who are not having the e-literacy properly are giving out all their information. Even sometimes people are snooping into their digital space and capturing their photographs or maybe even sensitive data, and then thereafter it is locking their system, either locking their system and demanding money for the unlocking, or maybe blackmailing for the money, etc., etc. All these things, unwanted things are going on. So that this is the space where we are supposed to have stringent rules where it can be controlled through a mechanism that is having the authority to control. Grievance redressal mechanism is mandatory. Now, grievance redress, if there is no grievance redressal mechanism, and this is where we have to address. Intermediaries shall appoint a grievance officer to deal with complaints and share the name and contact details of such officers to whom we are supposed to complain, and then this grievance must be acknowledged soon and it has to be resolved within 15 days from its receipt. Now, these are the things that we are supposed to make, but how to identify and what are the problems that we are facing? We are facing to identify where it has originated for the first time. Now we are supposed to make the person who has initiated it as accountable and responsible for that, and apart from that we are supposed to make the other people who are sharing this fake news unknowingly or maybe without even checking the authenticity of the news. And Facebook is trying to come up with the checking of authenticity before it is publishing into public forum. And then appointment of grievance officer, resolve complaints in 15 days, file monthly compliance report on complaints received, action taken. All these are supposed to be taken care, then only it will be a safe digital space, as technology is a double-edged sword where it will be advantage and penetrating the technology and information knowledge dissipation and sending the social security schemes to each and everybody in every aspect, improving the transparency, accountability in every these aspects, governance aspect. Technology has become the very good tool, but on the other hand this has become a threat to the life of many people. So it is to be used safely, as it is a new phenomenon where we have to generate rules or make rules where it will be covering all those areas properly and prominently. Afghan origin terror, prime concern for India. India has met in Qatar with a Taliban leader. Now here in Doha, Doha is the capital of Qatar. Here we have met with the Taliban leader. So far we have not agreed Taliban as the authentic or legitimate ruler, or the we can, as we got independence from British India, then what happened? It has been transferred into Constituent Assembly. It has been transferred the power into the hands of Constituent Assembly. But here there is no Constituent Assembly, there is nothing, no democratic power. It was already there democratic power, but that president who has elected democratically is being ran away, and many concerns that this Taliban are occupying the power with the force and guns, and they are just blasting many of the infrastructure that is already existing. And we are known for the already what these Taliban people has done, that they have blasted the Bamiyan Buddha statue, which is one of the tallest Buddha statue, which is a cultural heritage. But these people are not even thinking of anything. They are just trying to execute a law that is based on the Sharia. Even these punishments and their rule are more cruel, and which is of more medieval type of the rule. And this is what is not acceptable for India and most of the countries in the world, except very few countries that are Pakistan, Russia and China are publicly accepted it so far, but we have not accepted. Anyway, it is become inevitable that Taliban people are capturing the power, and almost they are at the brink of the forming the government. So here in this situation, we have met with the Taliban leader, senior leader, and this was only to concern that safety and security of the people who are there from India in Afghanistan, and apart from that, people who want to leave Afghanistan must be having the safety, and there must be prevalence of peace. Under Article 51 we are having in Constitution of India that international peace, promote the international peace. Based on those principles, it is seen as the a peace treaty or maybe a peace persuasion with the Taliban people. Now where is this Qatar? Doha. Doha is the capital of Qatar. Qatar is here, and where is this? This is Persian Gulf. Where is this? This is the Gulf, Persian Gulf, Gulf of Oman, and here it is Indian Ocean or Arabian Sea, right? And here it is Red Sea, and here it is Caspian Sea, Mediterranean Sea. And here we have Cyprus, Turkey, Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Jordan, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman. All this, why are we supposed to look into? We have to keep searching for the nearby areas, so that only we will be able to develop the map pointing. Otherwise it is not possible for us to memorize each individual area if we are not comparing or if we are not relating to other areas. That is, and here it is Egypt, right? Now these are the important areas. It has been already asked that which of the following countries are sharing the border with Mediterranean Sea. The options were Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Jordan. Jordan was not sharing the border with Mediterranean Sea. That is the answer, like where you will be ruling out the Jordan. So that is how we are supposed to keep looking into map. And once there was a question about GCC, Gulf Cooperation Council. Now this, where is this GCC and what about this GCC? GCC is all about the countries that are here, the Persian Gulf, and they are having the cooperation. Now in this way we have to keep relating with other areas. TOD highlighted in Draft Regional Plan 2041. What is mean by TOD? Transit Oriented Development. Transit Oriented Development. This is very much particular to Delhi, but here it is an important area for the paper 1 and paper 3 also. How is this important? Just let me explain with the development of the towns. From ancient times, maybe right from the civilization times, what happened, how the cities has evolved? Cities has evolved around the areas where we are having sufficient amount of resources that are of water, fertile soil, and maybe other things that are of forest or etc. etc. Magadha is one of the empire where we are having all these things. Along with that, mineral resources known as iron and other things. Now here they have grown into bigger cities. Then what happened in the modern times? Meanwhile, by the time we reach modern times, we have developed some cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad. These are the cities, and we are not having a planned development of any city. Generally, according to some theories, CBD, Central Business District, there will be some pattern of the cities. Center of the city will be having the business district, and it will be having the people who are like immediately after the center of the business district. What happens is, people here lives are the people who are working in those business area, are the people who will be living. Now these areas will be congested and rents of this area will be higher. And the next area is the people who are having middle income. And then finally on the outskirts areas where people will be having good amount of resources, who can be able to afford, and their houses will be lavish. This is one type of city development, and this development will also be having certain limits. And then after certain level, what these people will do to better transport system and for the local climatic condition, to control local climatic condition, what they will do after certain limit of the extension of the city, will be planting trees in such a swath or the stretch around the city entirely. And then after this forest kind of area, then again city will be expanded. But our cities are not like this. Our cities just haphazardly expanded. Go to any city where everywhere just randomly they are going. And here, because of all this proper planned development, what will happen? They will be having good means of transportation, drainage, and other basic amenities like water facilities. Everything will be properly planned. But our cities are either clogging because of even a small rain. Our cities are becoming the oceans or the sea or even lake, even for a smaller amount of rainfall, that may be 5 centimeter in a day or 10 centimeter in a day. Then apart from this, what is the other problem that we are facing? We are facing traffic congestions. Now this traffic congestion is almost like Bangalore is a city where we are spending 4 to 6 hours in a day for the transit itself. Now because of all these problems, the cities, all Indian cities are facing the same problem. Now apart from this, what is the other problem that we are having? We are having lack of tier 2 and tier 3 cities. What is this tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, tier 6 cities? Cities are based like demarcated based on the type of economic activity that people are dependent. What is meant by economic activity? Whatever the activity that you do for the survival is known as the economic activity. Now difference between rural and urban. Rural area is the area where majority of population is directly or indirectly dependent upon the farming activity. And here, to be qualified as, the population should be somewhere around about 10,000 or 20,000 people. And then other parameter is that there are many villages whose population is more than 30,000 also. But the other parameter is more than 70% of population that are living here who are in the employable age, that is age of 18 to 59 are the people who are known as people in the employable range. Now among this 18 to 59 people, 70% of them must be dependent on economic activity that is other than agriculture directly or indirectly. Now this is the term which will be qualifying to be known as the urban area. Now here, because of economic activity, there was no good economic opportunities in tier 2, tier 3 cities. Only the metropolitan cities or the metro cities are there in our country, that are like Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai and Bangalore. Likewise, apart from this, there are no secondary towns which will be consuming all the industrial workers, one certain type of industry, or even like all these cities. Common phenomenon is this employment is enormous in all these cities. Because of this only we are not able to provide good basic amenities for the people who are living in these cities, and life expectancy in these cities is also little bit lesser. Along with that, pollution is higher. If you take Delhi as the example, this is one of the top 10 most polluted cities in the world. And then after that, living cost is also very much expensive in these cities. What are about the tier 2 cities? Tier 2 cities are of a very specific industry that is developed maybe in local area. If there are cities that are providing good employment opportunities, where they will be also absorbing all the people who are coming out from the rural areas because of the lack of employment opportunities there in the rural areas. Because our agriculture is a seasonal type of employment, and apart from that agriculture also, there are many activities that are totally seasonal type of employment available in our country. Apart from this seasonality of the employment, one more issue that is there is our rural employment, agriculture employment is totally overburdened, or we call this as the disguised unemployment. What is meant by disguised unemployment? Let us assume that there is a 10 acres of land where we can be able to do all the work with the help of only 3 members, and there are 10 people dependent on this 10 acres of land. So when 3 can be able to do all the work, what about the remaining 7? All these 7 will also be depending on this. So this productivity will come down to only 3 people. So this is what is called the disguised unemployment. Now due to this disguised unemployment, we are facing huge problem of productivity of employees, and also we are facing the problem of lower GDP rates. Now these all are the problems we are having with the cities that we are having now. In such situation, now we are planning cities to be better livable cities and better employable cities, so that it will be having a local climate of the cities will also be controlled or contained. And apart from that, what is the other areas we are having? Transportation is one of the biggest problem that we are facing. Now the people who are working maybe unskilled job or blue collar jobs, if they want to stay at the center of heart of the city, the rents are going to be very much expensive now, and then they are living in the outskirts of the cities. But if they wanted to transit from those outskirts to center of the city or maybe to the workplace, it is going to be again very much expensive, either expensive or maybe time expensive, that is time consuming. To resolve all these problems, Delhi is planning to reach out to the last mile of connectivity through the concept of transit oriented development. Transit oriented development. This is important in paper 1 and paper 3. Tier 1 to tier 6 cities. The cities having less than 5,000 population is called tier 6, and the cities that are having 5,000 to 10,000 are called tier 5. Likewise, it goes on, but this has to be reframed again, revisit into the numbers, because even the villages are having 5,000 numbers nowadays. So it is to be upgraded to the according to present level of population. Along with that, we are also having a definition of economic activity that we are doing, and the problems. To solve these problems, the government of India has come up with 2 schemes. One is smart cities are needed to bring in growth and development in country. Smart cities are needed for the development of quality of life. This is what is missing in our cities presently, and we are supposed to bring in the quality of life. Otherwise, our cities will not be a sustainable city. And then if the quality of life of people is improved in cities, then naturally the city will attract more people, and thereby more investments will be coming into cities. And this is the very base concept of the smart city. Along with that, there are other development that Amrut mission Atal Mission for Regeneration and Urban Transformation. Now, these are majorly focused on the specific towns and cities that are of secondary cities and tertiary cities. Now, as we have identified that because of lack of secondary and tertiary cities only, our primary cities are becoming the agglomerations or conglomerations. Agglomeration and conglomeration means they are increasing the number of people and consuming all nearby areas into the city itself. Once upon a time, Delhi used to be limited to Delhi NCR. Now the NCR has expanded into even Rajasthan, that Alwar district, and like Dadri in this western Uttar Pradesh, even in Haryana, all these areas it is spreading into. Now this is becoming the agglomeration or conglomeration. The other cities are even Panipati, different places are also absorbing into this major city. To solve all these problems, what we are supposed to do? We have to come up with the secondary cities and tertiary cities where employment opportunities will also be better available in these cities as well, and then better amenities provided at the primary cities. So in that way we will be able to solve the issue, as we are projecting at least 50% of India's population will be living in cities by 2050. What is the amount of population that is urbanized now? That is 34.5% of population presently are urban now. But by 2050 it will be grown into 50%. Now what is our population? Almost 140 or 145 crore population is there, as 2021 census is not released. And then imagine by 2050 this population will be reaching to 200 crores. That means whatever the population that are living presently in cities are almost just 50 crores only. By 2050 it will turn into 100 crore population living in just cities alone. This is going to be a catastrophe if we are not planning our cities. And while we are writing answer, we can be able to mention about Article 21. Right to life does not just mean a life that is like an animal. It is to be also provided with the better facilities, health facilities, amenities, education, and better environment also. So if you write like this while you are writing answer, then this will be improving the quality of the answer. Along with that you will get good marks. The second like other thing, this is also Delhi specific only. Like here we are supposed to see or look into discrimination or inequalities that present in the society. Only headline important. Many in posh areas using 10 times more water in Delhi, and that is supposed to be addressed. If these inequalities continue, then there will be a leading to social unrest. Generally, whatever the amount of water available presently, it is about 240 liters per day per person is available, and most of it will be going for washing utensils, clothes, and bathing, all these things. And then after that it will be only like 5 or 10 liters, that is for the drinking purpose. And that is also we are facing many differences in different cities, even in Hyderabad, Chennai, and Delhi, like Mumbai. Many different places are getting water once in 2 days already, or maybe sometimes even once in 3 days or twice in a week that we are getting water. In such situations, if different people in different colonies are using 10 times more than what they can like what another person is using, then it is a inequality, and it is going against the constitutional ideals that we are having, equality, Article 14. So it is that we are supposed to ensure the basic minimum water availability is there for each and everybody, as this will be coming under the Article 14 and Article 21 as well. Noble intentions. What is the issue that we are having our concern, entire world is having concern now, is that the way the transition of power from democratically elected government to a forcefully occupying government as soon as the America is leaving from Afghanistan. What was the purpose America came into Afghanistan? To mitigate the problem of terrorism and Al-Qaeda. This is what the problem, that they went into Afghanistan and they tried to do all the things that they can do, but they could not be able to succeed. Taliban are the people who were the educated youth in 1980s, and they have occupied their power in 1990s, but this was a quite unsatisfied rule that even for the Afghanistan people, and now the people of Afghanistan are and throughout the world are having only one concern, that blast and unrest is the problem that they are facing, and type of rule that they are going to have in the country as based on the past. It is the biggest problem that we are having now. So it should be like the UN must ensure that the Taliban uphold human rights is the major concern and give up terror tactics. These are the two major areas where we are having as the cause of concern. And we know that in last month, that is all the month of October, we have headed as the chairman of UNSC, that United Nations Security Council is headed by India in the month of August. That one complete month will be headed by each different member of the like temporary member of the United Nations Security Council. And here is that India's concern is calling for the Taliban to ensure safe evacuation of Afghans wishing to leave, and not allowing Afghan soil to be used for terror activities. That maybe Pakistan or any other country, if they are going to promote terror activities, that we are neighbor of this Afghanistan, then it will be using as a soil for the terror activities from where it will be promoting, and finally we are going to get affected. Apart from that, under Article 15, that we are having a constitutional ideal, we wish to or we are supposed to promote the world peace. Under these conditions, we are wishing that this soil is to be free from the terrorist activities and human rights must be upheld. There is a different phenomenon that is going on, like population decline in Europe. What is this? Just let me give brief theory of the population theories. Now, the 8 countries that are there in SAARC itself is amounting to quarter of the population of throughout the world. And what is the geographical area of these SAARC nations? It is only 4%, not even 4% of the geographical area is there in SAARC nations, and it is this 4% of geographical area is amounting to almost a quarter population of the world. And then what is the wealth or GDP of this like SAARC nations? If you compare with entire world, this is also only about 4 or 5% of the throughout the world GDP is belong to these countries. It is showing that it is a region where which is almost very much backward, because quarter of population is leading only with the 4% of GDP. That itself is showing the inequality. On the other hand, European people are one of the most developed nations. They are struggling with the population fall from recent decades, that even they are not able to maintain or sustain the same population what it is, that is called replacement rate. Replacement rate is measured based on the total fertility ratio, TFR, that it must be at least 2.1%. Here they are not even maintaining the 2.1% of the total fertility ratio. What is total fertility ratio? A woman who can produce what are the number of babies in their lifetime is called total fertility rate. And here it is measured as at least if a woman can produce, this is 2.1 is not possible anyway. If you measure out of a million people, then that must be like 2.1 must be the rate at which if a woman produces the births, then that will be leading to replacement. That what are the number of deaths happen will be replaced with the number of births. If number of deaths are more than the number of if number of crude death rate is CDR is more than CBR, then what happens? This will be leading to decline of population. Now Europe is under the condition of crude death rate is more than the crude birth rate, right? Now here if you see the statistics of the world population that has grown from 1700, around 1700 there was a 70 million population or 80 million population throughout the world, and then by 1800 it became 1 billion, and by 1927 it became 2 billion. By 2000 it became 5 billion, 6 billion by 1999 itself. Now by 2012 it became 7 billion and it is projected to be 8 billion by 2024 and by 9 by 2050. But one particular area is facing a problem of acute shortage, or even this area is not even having total replacement ratio. What are the reasons? They are choosing to be alone, or maybe they are delaying their marriage age, or they are not wishing to have the babies. Now this is the fifth stage of human development. What is this fifth stage of human development? In the first stage of human development, total birth rate, crude birth rate and crude death rate will be very high. In the second stage, crude birth rate will be higher, crude death rate will be stagnated, and in third stage, crude birth rate will be higher and crude death rate will start reducing because of the advanced medical facilities. Now in the fourth stage, crude birth rate and crude death rate will be almost same, but in the fifth stage, crude death rate is more than the crude birth rate, where you cannot able to replace the population that is actually it is there. Then what are the problems that it will be leading to? The problems it will leading to aging population. When it is aging population, there will be more number of people who are dependent on the people who are working over. So the GDP will also get affected. And apart from that, social security will also be a very difficult task, as the old people will be having many health disease problems, and these things must be addressed properly. So all these problems will be occurring if the number of people who are born or the population starts declining. So to address better these situations, we are supposed to maintain the proper population policies. Now coming to the polity issue, that long wait for the deputy speaker for Lok Sabha. What is this deputy speaker, and is this a constitutional position? Yes, this is a constitutional position that is mentioned in Article 1993. Article 93 mentions that there must be a speaker and a deputy speaker. If in absence of these two people, then there must be a panel of speakers who are chosen from the Lok Sabha itself, who will be acting as the speaker in the absence of either speaker or the deputy speaker, or both of them are not there. Then the panel of speakers will be addressing the house. Now here, as of now, there are 9 members who are like a panel members. And what does a deputy speaker do? The deputy speaker enjoys the same legislative powers as the speaker, and in the absence of the speaker because of death, illness or any other reason, the deputy speaker assumes the administrative powers. Now here, this can be a question of preliminary exam, as there are 2 issues after this. NDA government has presumed into power because of a lack of number of MP seats. That is, even they are not even getting 10% of seats to a single party. So there is a post, Public Accounts Committee. This Public Accounts Committee, there is a convention right from 1960s headed by the opposition member. Public Accounts Committee will be headed by the opposition member. The number of members in Public Accounts Committee is 22 members. And here there are 15 members from Lok Sabha, 7 members from the Rajya Sabha. Now here in this situation, what happens? What this Public Accounts Committee will do? Public Accounts Committee will be doing a job of scrutinizing the COG report. What is a COG? COG is a Comptroller and Auditor General who will be auditing all the accounts of the Government of India as well as the state government, whatever the objects that will be coming under the state in the definition of Article 12. Article 12 defines the state. What is a state? State means any organization or organ of the government where it will be getting direct benefit of the government, or using the funds of the government or premises of the government, then it will be coming under the definition of the state. So whatever that is coming under the definition of the state will be audited by the Comptroller and Auditor General, and this audit report will be put on the table of the Public Accounts Committee through President of India. Now here, when the opposition member is heading this Public Accounts Committee, then there will be all good chance of putting it to public forum. It is also feasible for the opposition members to question the government in the house as well. So in this way, there was a good convention, but this is not giving to the members of the opposition now, right? Now let us look into Article 93. What Article 93 says? Article 93 of the Constitution provides for the election of both Speaker and the Deputy Speaker. The constitutional office of the Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha is more symbolic of parliamentary democracy than some real authority. It is just a symbolic one, and there is no need to resign from their original party, though as a Deputy Speaker, they have to remain impartial. What are the roles and functions? They act as the presiding officer in case of leave or absence of the Speaker. Election. Usually, Deputy Speaker is elected in the first meeting of the Lok Sabha after the general election from amongst the members of the Lok Sabha itself. And it is by convention that position of Deputy Speaker is offered to opposition party in India. But these two are completely disregarded by the present government. Tenure and removal. They hold office until either they cease to be member of the Lok Sabha or by resign. And they can be removed from office by a resolution passed in the Lok Sabha by an effective majority of its members. Now these are the methods, and Public Accounts Committee we have already discussed. These are two areas where it can be a potential question in the preliminary exam, or even that can be leading to indirect question in the mains examination. Uphold rights of women in mental health centers. That it has been observed by a report that there are no privacy maintained for these people who are having mental illness. Apart from that, there is no child and mother relation who was like they are not entertaining separate child and mother cabins or maybe areas and rooms. Now, where does this come from? Basic rights guaranteed under the constitution like dignity and privacy are the rights that are guaranteed in the constitution, but these are not provided for the people who are mentally ill in the houses that are taking care of these people. So this is to be restored, as this is guiding by the Constitution of India. Now environment question. This is like a purely preliminary exam question. Indian biologist wins global award for turtle conservation. What are the turtles that he conserved? Beheler Turtle Conservation Award. What is the award? Beheler Award, that is for the conservation of turtle, bringing 3 critically endangered turtles conservation species back from brink of the extinction. Now what are those turtles? Red-crowned roofed turtle, and northern river terrapin turtle, and black soft shell turtle. These are the 3 turtles that he safeguarded from the brink of the extinction. He bring back, that is he has tried to conserve and increase the number of these turtles. Try to remember these names. If possible, try to write it on the wall so that it will be able to easily memorize. Apart from this, there are star turtle and olive ridley turtles, which are coming to our country as a seasonal and as the breeding zone to the eastern margins or eastern coastal area, that is Andhra Pradesh and Odisha. These are also star turtle and olive ridley turtles are also very much important in the point of view of exam. Taliban close to forming government. Taliban is trying to form the government along with the ministries, and they are also facing 2 challenges. One is this war-torn Taliban, Afghanistan is financially debacled, and the other thing is how they are going to administer their positions and about the arms and fundamental rights or basic rights, basic human rights of the people. These are the major 2 issues that are there, and women are now protesting against the Taliban people where they want to continue their jobs. Now here these people who are protesting against for the rights that they want to continue their jobs, and these people wants to have a dialogue with the Taliban people about the basic rights of women. There are some friction between Afghanistan and Pakistan. That line is Durand line and the area is Pashtun area. Pashtun is an area that is having some differences between Pakistan and Afghanistan. Now what is this Durand line? Durand line is the line that is drawn between erstwhile East India Company's territory and the Afghanistan after 1890 Second Anglo-Afghan War, and this is in 1893 they have drawn the Durand line. Where is this Durand line? Durand line is the line between Afghanistan and Pakistan present day. And when did this Durand line has drawn? This has drawn in 1893 after Anglo-India War. Thank you. Keep watching Addod Solutions for the daily updates.
Addod Solutions. Add-on desired.